Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. A full day of engagements by the Holy Father Pope Francis in Port Moresby today. And we are continuing our live coverage. I'm John Higgins, and I'm joined again by His Grace Archbishop Roku Statamai of Rabaul. Thank you for coming on board.
Thank you, John, and good morning to all our viewers and our listeners throughout the nation and abroad as well.
Yes, our day is full today. For the Holy Father, his day began with a private church service at New Guinea Hill at the Apostolic Nunciature in Corobosea, not Tokorara, Corobosea. And later on in the day, he will pay a courtesy call on the Governor General, Sir Bob Dade, the Grand Chief, Sir Bob Dade, at Government House. This will be followed by a meeting with the leaders, political leaders of Papua New Guinea, as well as business leaders, leaders of other denominations, and leaders from other countries, particularly the Pacific. That'll be at APEC House at Ella Beach. That's in the morning. In the afternoon, he'll be engaged with people who are closer to his chest, and these are young people at Caritas and also at Don Bosco. Archbishop, his arrival yesterday, an exciting time.
Though it was dark in the night, but it was historical, memorable, and there were a lot of people, especially the streets were filled with our people, and it gives the impression that he himself always said that the shepherd must always be closer to the sheep, and he has to know also the smell of the sheep. And I think that the closeness of that came out from the street procession from the airport to the residence of the Apostolic Nunciature.
You are right, okay? All right, they arrived in dark at 7 o'clock, but that did not darken the excitement, the enthusiasm, apart from the officialdom on the tarmac at the airport yesterday evening. And we're just showing some pictures of that from last night. Then he moved on. He took the street from the airport through to Erima, through to Baroko, and all the way up to New Guinea Hill, to the Apostolic Nunciature. And the story is that along the way, and we'll show you some pictures in a minute, the story is that along the way, the excitement, the euphoria was unbelievable, something people of the city have never seen. Kids, old people, young people, of all ages, of all religions, of all backgrounds, flocked or lined up the streets in almost candlelight along the way to see the Holy Father. And that's the Garuda Airbus that flew in the Holy Father yesterday from Jakarta in Indonesia.
The actual procession, I think, importantly, it allows people to experience what it is like for our streets in Port Moresby, the capital city, that families were able to come out and just enjoy him as he passes by their streets and waving the flags, singing, chanting. So there was joy, jubilation throughout this route from the airport to his residence at Corobosea. So in a sense, it made the streets that they are places where families can still enjoy, even in the night, can be safe, can be a place where we encounter our neighbors.
You mean look all some picture yet? Legally call a flower or something. All pickinini long motu koita. Only give him igolong Holy Father na this like me looking sambla all this la aste, whereby go on top long this blood dies, or call them APEC dies, where Deputy Prime Minister Blomipla, the Honorable John Rosso, na usat mani go pass long Army or Defense Force Blomipla to play stop on top of this la dies na welcome him Holy Father long sindan long sim garabona. This fella only been working mass there. Emo leader belum ipla sambla long all oli stab long disla side oli line up long disla side. Na all leader or mani ko pass lo church oli stab long narapla side. Oli father em oli give him some welcome sulut long em finish now. Em golo disla legally car. All blandi line eating also ba golo wambla bikla car no gat. Bla legally car whereby em can look long olan can look long em. Now this la imbin come up aste. Now big la story come up also lo road the Lusim airport. You go in up lo place lo em lo sleep lo aste. Online ni pull up straight.
Street emi pull up good street. Plenty only sanavante mol candlelight long kami mem. Plenty pray only sing amamas. Na I think this la big pla look. Long help him yumi look sabi or some streets lo yumi long I do long yumi. You must come up all place where you must bungi mol narapla. All families all neighborhood belong yumi. Make more street belong yumi ami place where you can got exchange. You know long all social activities, but too long believe. So long lulu sila car, yami choose him. Emi talk. Sila car you must simple car tasol. Emi bring him back in sila attitude belong yan na look you know like by emi sana por some big man. Emi like by looking him or some leader want them power. You must learn long servant, long help him all narapla, and that is why. All I put him all this all model long all car long and plenty all dealers only ask him when him car only give him immediately choose him car I must sala mark street.
The formal welcome ceremony was as indicated it's formal, somber, calm, but the real welcome ceremony Archbishop, I'll add, was probably along the way to his residence at the Apostolic Nunciature. The excitement, the euphoria shown by the people of Papua New Guinea, that was something to remember.
I think for our families and our communities and the pilgrims who came from the provinces, that was the best welcome they could offer. To be able to be on the street and to encounter him, to see him in person, and passing by on the street, and they can encounter him. And I think there were individuals who have a lot of opportunities to actually have, not only to see him, but to also get closer. That experience was very profound, personal, and they will treasure that for this welcome.
They're excited, but it was also a security nightmare for the security personnel. While they can realize and understand the excitement of the people, they also have to make sure that the Pope is safe.
And that's
always the case.
But I think the maintaining of the order.
And here it is. Look at this. It's a little boy, and the Holy Father particularly signed for him, gave the indication that I want to see that kid. And likewise the mother of that child as well. And here's a man trying to push in.
Yes.
A handshake he'll remember for the rest of his life. So that's the kind of concert, the kind of focus that people have, the kind of respect, the kind of belief that the people have. And I guess in Christianity and in the Pope and what he stands for, a spiritual leader, they all look up to him.
The closeness is very personal. And for them, as you say, it's a lifetime experience. They have seen him on television and all the rest, but this is coming closer. And as you can see how the security forces are trying to assist to create order and distance, but he is allowing them to come closer to him.
Absolutely. And that is something he's not saying there's no fear. He doesn't want to avoid them. In fact, if anything, he says, come over, I'll shake your hand.
And that's how he makes the streets for us as places to encounter meeting the other people, feeling free to enjoy the company of others, and that is what is coming through as we see the pictures. The freedom of people to feel secure, maybe taking a risk, but trusting that it's going to be okay.
Yes.
It's going to be safe.
Yes, and this reflects on him as well, that he is a man of the people. And he would like to get close to the people, and his trip would indicate that. And right now, we are, and these are live pictures now from Government House at Konidobu, where the Holy Father is going there to pay a courtesy call on the Governor General of Papua New Guinea at Government House. And this always happens when there is a state visit by a head of state from another country. And in this particular passage, he is being accorded the kind of stately treatment befitting of some leader, some president, some prime minister that's coming from another country. And here he's coming as head of the Vatican State to pay a courtesy call on the Governor General of Papua New Guinea.
I think it is also very important to give us the importance of the partnership in serving our people, that the two organizations of serving our people falls on both the state and the churches. And that is what we experience in our own concrete situation in Papua New Guinea and for the rest of the world. A mutual partnership that happens between government or the state and the church and non-government organizations for the well-being, for the good of our people. And this has been underpinned by this particular state visit that he is now giving this courtesy call to the Governor General, and even no way to avoid it. It has to be done as a way of diplomatic visit to the nation. And again, it's going to be memorable for him to come and have this courtesy visit and encounter with the head of our state, the Governor General, as he is now having the opportunity to welcome him and even to allow him to just experience this atmosphere, environment of partnership that we enjoy as a state and the church.
Yeah. Just some formalities there. The Chief Protocol Officer, Matthew Ding, and the Governor General have guided the Holy Father to signing the Book of Honor, and a normal formality that happens to any head of state that pays a courtesy call on the Governor General. These are live pictures coming to you from Government House at Konidobu in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea.
And this also marks the first of the programs and activities of his public and full program of the day.
Very fitting that he signs into it, saying, I'm here and I've got a full day ahead of me. And where is that? It's called the State Hall of Government House.
The cross that he is wearing, it's also a special cross that has Jesus, the Good Shepherd, and you can see at the back in that cross shape is Jesus in the center and all the sheep around, again highlighting the role of the Pope as the chief shepherd, to ensuring that he goes out, and especially going out for those sheep that are scattered, divided, hurt, or whatever.
Forgotten,
yes. Yeah. And that is why the periphery has become one of his landmark signs, and call sign in his pastoral apostolic visits, especially now to us in Asia and Oceania.
Okay. All right, Archbishop, is the cross, particular cross that you're describing, is that only worn by the Holy Father or any of the cardinals, archbishops?
That particular cross was designed especially by and for him, because it was, again, it captures all that he has and want to promote in his particular leadership. And the big part of it is, this is now coming for leadership, which we call servant leadership.
Okay.
And the servant leadership is more a shepherd leadership, caring, pastoring, and following and including and feeding your sheep.
Yeah. The Holy Father is, of course, signing the Book of Honor, but I think in that he's also giving a little passage, a little message in there. It'll be interesting to see what he's written or what he's writing that I guess will be remembered and will resonate if that is publicized, and this is what the Holy Father has said to us as a country, and through our Governor General at Government House, his statement to us.
That message, yes, though it is in the register there, as you said accurately, that is the message to us. The message of his concern, of his love, of his care, and could be the highlight of why he is amongst us.
Yes. But the picture in itself, it looks kind of calm, collected, and he's not a person confined to a wheelchair, but he almost looks very ordinary.
That is the point, that he took this particular decision to come, and when the advance party came and inspected everything and went back and made a full report and the challenges, the inconveniences and the rest, he took note of that, and at the end he said, these are the challenges, but I would like to go to Papua New Guinea. I would like to go to Papua New Guinea. So this is indicative of his whole presence. And again, at 87, going 88, he still would like to demonstrate to us that at times the limitations, the inconveniences can for us excuses for not being able to achieve and do whatever. And by coming out here, the physical situation that he is in is assisting to inspire us that you can overcome this, because if you really want to be with people and for the common good, you have to just go by and go over what you have.
Okay. And I think it's a matter of procedure here that he's having a private meeting with the Governor General, and I think for the most part maybe one or two cameras from the Vatican are allowed in to record what's going on in there. But as for us, we are asked not to record that private meeting between the Holy Father and our Governor General. So that is why we can see that the particular person there making sure that no other person goes in there. Yeah.
And I think it is a statement also to those two aspects of our life. You have the private aspect of life, and also you have the public life. And this little demonstration of what has happened out in the public, we signs in, we observe that, but I think that moment of intimacy, of conversation between the Holy Father himself with the Governor General is a very personal moment for the two of them to at least treasure for the rest of their lives as well.
Well, that's going on. I might also add here that leaders have already gathered at APEC House at Ella Beach. Leaders, as I say, are political leaders of Papua New Guinea, as well as religious leaders of other denominations in the country, and business leaders and heads of states from other countries. This is the Government House, so at the APEC House of all the leaders all gathered there.
John, it looks like the state is also ready
Oh, it's all
for
set.
the next event of the morning.
Next engagement. And this will be longer than the one at Government House. After that private meeting with the Governor General, the Holy Father there's a formality where there's the exchange and presentation of gifts. And on our part, it'll be an exchange of gifts to be presented by Sambel and Admin. These are the children of our Governor General who will be presenting gifts to the Holy Father. And then and then there will be a gift from the country, from Papua New Guinea to His Holiness, and this will be a framed picture of the bird of paradise, the symbol of Papua New Guinea, for him to take back with him.
You can see the Cardinal Tagle, who is the head of the Congregation for Evangelization. He's been talking with the Bishop of Wewak, Bishop Joseph Rosinski, and that is always a moment all the bishops enjoy, because the Cardinal Tagle is from the Philippines and is closer to us, and he understands the challenges of Asia and also of Oceania.
Yes, and also the welcome reception, the red carpet, and the element of a little show of culture. I suppose a snapshot of our cultures. I can see some dancers from the Jawaka province. I can see some dancers from, we were talking about the Mekios. Maybe one or two will be standing there, some from the central province. So that's the welcome reception, a mixture of formality with red carpet as well as a snapshot of our cultures.
Yes, Papua New Guinea is so rich with the diversity of cultures, and in fact, it is a wonder for the world when it comes to the 800 plus languages. People, when they come to know it, and it's becoming and more awareness around the world. Once they were thinking that it was in Africa, but now everybody is saying it's Papua New Guinea. And sometimes this particular phenomenon of more languages spoken is one of the qualities of our nation.
It's a unique and a special identity of Papua New Guinea, and I think most Papua New Guineans, because we are in it and we are part of it, we don't realize the significance of it. We are almost chosen, someone who can be picked up in amongst the crowd as that being Papua New Guinean, because of how different we are with our cultures, with our identity, and with who we really are.
Yes. And the challenge for the outsiders, when they think that we are just from Papua New Guinea, and the same when they tell us to speak the language, and we cannot speak our own proper dialect or proper languages, that we can just slip into Tokpisin. And that's always the uniting factor with the Pidgin.
That's right. We're back to Government House again with these pictures. The meeting is still, the private session is still continuing between the Holy Father and the Governor General inside. And we are informed that our cameras are not allowed in there. In fact, as indeed most of the other cameras from the other organizations, excuse me, one or two cameras from the Vatican may have been allowed into that little private meeting. But of course, in these exchanges, we can kind of anticipate what they talk about. The Holy Father might say he's happy to come to this unique country, and as part of his periphery terminology is using, and to have been welcomed the way we did last night at Jackson's airport, and the kind of reception he received along the way to the Apostolic Nunciature on New Guinea Hill, and now to meet him, and of course the Governor General, no, he's somebody trying to sneak into the private meeting. I'm wondering whether the security, I think he's
just checking.
He's politely,
are they over now or not yet?
He's politely told, no, it's private.
Yes. You know what, John, what would be interesting for the Holy Father this morning is to wake up at Korobosia this morning. It's a beautiful scenery from the Nunciature looking over the water.
Okay.
And that was something that he missed coming in yesterday in the dark.
Okay, yes.
And the beauty of the nation. And now going from Korobosia itself going down to Ella Beach, that is itself is panoramic the view and everything of Port Moresby.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right there, Archbishop. And I think it'll get a better glimpse of the whole country when he flies to Vanimo. And I hope that whoever's flying him there probably does a little bit of a, not detour, but fly for him to get a better grip of the plains of Sepik and Sepik River.
The Sepik River will
yes.
be, yes, and the mountains.
And the mountains into the interior.
Yes.
So, yep, all the leaders, all are, well, they are all waiting for the Holy Father at APEC House at Ella Beach. The meeting, the private little session between the Holy Father and the Governor General continues at Government House, Konidobo.
So in that moment, I think it's intense and I think it's precious because while we are saying it is for a private audience, they might be, what I can gather is, they are just enjoying this moment to express maybe the beauty of the fact that our Governor General, I assume that he will be crediting him for making it all the way to coming to Papua New Guinea and making this.
In the condition he's in.
Yeah, and this could be the last trip. This is like a maiden voyage that he's doing to us. And so it is very, very historical. And for them to have this mutual exchange, given what it takes, I think it is a moment that you can see, especially when it underpins the collaboration, the mutual partnership between state and church. And they deliver services to the same people, our people here, and this is why they affirm each other and maybe at the same time proposes how to move forward to improve. So while it is taking time, there'll be a few things that will be of importance, and I always conscious of the fact that we always wanting to see more quality in this partnership between the state and the churches.
Right.
And the churches are always present with the people in the remote areas, and he's coming to affirm that, and then he's almost saying, encouraging government give the support where it is necessary, and always assist, because it is government responsibility to deliver education, to deliver health services, infrastructure development, and by what the church picks up to complement that, and not to work in competition with each other, but it's complementary.
I think you put that pretty well, Archbishop, and I hope that government people are listening and are watching, and that is a job that they need to do. They need to listen, and they need to do that. And at the time when we're going through certain hardships in the country right now, with prices of basic goods and the kinds of the law and order issues and issues that we are confronting us as a country, the point you are making is and should be noted by leaders if that is indeed the kind of exchange between the Governor General and the Holy Father at Government House at this moment. If that is the kind of exchange, then that has to resonate with every elected leader, with every civil servant, and that has to filter down to the people, and that services are provided and everybody's doing what they need to do and then what they must do in order for this country to go forward.
So what you see from the simple convoy from the airport to the house, that for me is a very good message for us, that make our streets places where we can enjoy the neighborhood, where people can come out free in the evenings, in the nights, and be there. It is possible to happen, but I think we all have to make that commitment. Sometimes when we shut and lock our gates, that we are allowing to promote fear, suspicion, and I think that was coming through yesterday from this whole journey, by allowing people just to be, celebrating the street, making the street once more safe. And I think this some of the, while we are doing it for the arrival and the welcome, let us not stop there. Let's continue after this. Yes.
Absolutely. And then I think that kind of excitement should also be given to leaders, our elected leaders, our appointed or our anointed leaders, that kind of euphoria and excitement should be extended to them if they did the right thing, if they stand for principles, and if they deliver as they should. And if they don't, they cannot accept that kind of reception and that kind of excitement as demonstrated last night along the road from the airport all the way to the Apostolic Nunciate at New Guinea Hill.
Importantly, as you can see with the Holy Father, Pope Francis' attitude of letting go and coming forward towards us. And that's really what is happening for the kind of leadership that we have to have. Our focus has to be on the people and the well-being of our people. And when you are focused on that, there is no fear for any self-preservation. It is always moving forward and moving towards and moving out. And that has been really emphasized and highlighted by his very gestures, and also the way now he's carrying himself around to encourage us, let us get out of ourselves and be more focused on the other people.
Yes, totally agree. Archbishop, totally agree. And I think the meeting with the Holy Father and the Governor General is still going on at Government House, the private little meeting. And we also note here that Papua New Guinea and the Vatican State established diplomatic relations just after independence in March, on the 7th of March, 1977. So we've established diplomatic relations with the Vatican State after independence at that time. So that relationship has held and has been respected over these years.
Yes, and we do enjoy this particular relationship, the diplomatic relationships, because our people and most of our priests also have the opportunity to go and do the studies in Rome. And as we alluded to yesterday, when Pope John Paul II came, he spoke Motu and Tokpisin. And that was as a benefit of our students, Father Michael Ligo and Gabriel Pinda, MSc. They were there in Rome and they prepared him for the 1984 first apostolic papal visit here.
Okay.
So this diplomatic relationship is also helping us to understand that there is a cooperation and there is a collaboration that is taking place. So again, what they may be saying there is revisiting the past and seeing what is happening here in the present, to looking into the future.
Yes, and that is quite an important point to make here. And of course, there have been other visits to the Vatican by ordinary Papua New Guineans, just to see Rome and Vatican State. I mean, people talk about it, and we see it, we read about it, we see it in pictures and all that, but nobody really gets that true feeling when they visit. And diplomatic relations such as this ensure that you go and visit the Vatican even when you want. And I hope that there are no visas required in that, Archbishop.
This is the thing.
Yes.
This is really important, because I personally was standing on the queue to get a visa, and then noted on the wall, visa not needed for Solomon Islands, for Kiribati, and a Fijian standing next to me said, and why Fiji and Papua New Guinea we have to go for visas, and the small nations, they have to have no visa required.
Okay.
But that underlines our partnership and our diplomatic relationships. Yes. If our government are not doing anything, so Fiji and Papua New Guinea have to stand on the queue to getting their visas.
Well, there you are. Here is the presentation of that gift to the Holy Father, and this no doubt will be Sambeli, or admin, Dada, the Governor General's children, the presentation of gifts, and they get something in return. That
is normally the Holy Rosary or some souvenir from the Vatican that he always complement the gifts with.
Okay, okay. and no doubt they've concluded their little meeting, and I think they're just about ready to head towards the APEC House at Ella Beach for the next engagement. These pictures coming to you live from Government House at Konidobo, Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. Where the Holy Father, Pope Francis, has paid a courtesy call on Papua New Guinea's Governor General, the Grand Chief Sir Bob Dade. And he bids farewell. Thank you for coming, he says. We'll meet again. Maybe on Earth, maybe somewhere else.
It is an historic visit, and as I said, it is a maiden voyage, and coming to Asia, Pacific, Oceania, and given his age and health status, this could be the last time he will be around for us, and I'm really grateful that our people can have the opportunity to add this as part of one of the histories of our country.
We're absolutely privileged, Archbishop, absolutely privileged to have this visit, to see the man in person on our soil.
Government and church leaders. And again, these two are always existing for the good of our people, because they are the ones who make decisions. They are the ones who make policies. They collaborate for the well-being of our people.
Yes.
And that is always the focus. We don't exist for ourselves. Government doesn't exist for itself. Church doesn't exist for itself, but for our people.
Exactly, exactly. And I think the girls have got the cue that the Pope Mobile is just around the corner. They've started the ritual. And everybody is kind of seated, all calm, collective. And Archbishop, the important thing here is this will be probably the first time that the Holy Father will say something, will give a message, and I think we're very hopeful, and we anticipate, and we're wondering what the message might be, given the purpose of his visit and what he's all about, and given the situation we are in and what we are all about today.
Yes, John, sometimes it's very interesting that things that the Holy Father says and addressing different nations and communities sometimes are really spot on our issues, and sometimes the highlights of our realities. Sometimes we ourselves are in the situations we don't have the objectivity to step aside and look at it back. But for someone to be able to pick them up and draw our attention to it, we realize this is the way we have been going, and this is how it has been happening, and then we find ways in how to amend maybe our ways or make decisions, alterations to have the right path. Again, at the end of the day, is always the common good, how the people has to benefit from such decisions.
Yes, and it's so appropriate at this time as we are celebrating, and this month is the 49th independence anniversary of Papua New Guinea. So a message, whatever message the Holy Father gives, will be very interesting at this time. And here comes the Pope Mobile and the motorcade coming to APEC House at Ella Beach. Protocol people will swing into operation. And our Motu Koitabon dancers, and there sits the members of the clergy. Some of them, you want to call their names?
Well, most of them,
Yes, yeah.
most of them are from our local dioceses in Papua New Guinea. I understand the visitors will be the cardinal from Tonga, and he's amongst the clergy there, as well as the couple of bishops from abroad, like Australia and New Zealand, and the Archbishop of Suva in Fiji. They feel that they have to be present because of the papal and apostolic visit here is also Oceania and so they have a presence. And you can see the Governor General himself already arrived earlier in preparation for the Holy Father to come in.
And he will have to receive the Holy Father at APEC House there. And Dari Toka Jr., the head of the Motu Koitabuns here in the national capital, is with him. I think it is also important to note here that this is happening at one of Papua New Guinea's important fixtures, where when we held the APEC in the country sometime back, a couple of years back, and the meeting is taking place there. It's important, and I think it is also important to note here that what we are showing is now going almost all over the world. It's going on Sky News. It's being shown at the Vatican television, the Italian, in Italy as well as in Reuters, Salon Television in Canada, EWTN, and definitely there are visions of that going into Argentina, the home country of the Holy Father, Pope Francis. He should be arriving there shortly and will be received by the Governor General for and on behalf of the people of Papua New Guinea and of all the other leaders who come from other neighboring countries as well who are seated there.
John, I think it's also important to note all our hardworking people behind the scenes to getting these images to our viewers throughout the world. And I think it's also given us to prove that we are able to do it professionally. The quality is here. And so I just would like to take that note to acknowledge all our people who are working behind the scenes to enable the technicians, the producers and everybody, and also our media. The cooperation, the collaboration for this event is just unimaginable. Everybody has come together. They have had a long meetings to ensure these things work out very well, because we are putting Papua New Guinea on the international scene.
Totally agree. The mini Pope Mobile, if you like, it's mini, it might look small, but what that small Pope Mobile is bringing in and bringing out into our country and at the APEC House is something big. It is the world leader, a spiritual world leader, as well as a country leader.
It's interesting that in Pidgin we always have a practical joke saying that lik walk na big plakai kai. Now here we are seeing lik car for a big man.
Now this la talk fit him. This la kind talk bokestas will talk picture me plus I give him. Big pla true. Nice pla think you got that you've been talk long end. This la kind of picture me plus show him now. Me like talk him. You me online lo Papua New Guinea also. This la got the picture you me show him now. M2. You pla look him now. You go along all narpla country too. Country or television or one him kind walk all is a working this la all picture you go along also 6-7 black country. Picture 2 you go along place country straight where the Holy Father come long end, long Argentina. Yeah. This la picture me bless for him now. Me bless you look long end, or look him long up too, or look him long Canada, long solemn television, EWTN, long Italy too, or look him. Only look him long Vatican television, long Rome yet, or look him. Sky News he saw him all this picture too. So this la legally something me bless thing also long country blo me bless no cat and big or look him. Look him also this la Mary give him one blood symbol blo me bless lakatoy go long hand long Holy Father. Now him kisi one blood legally President return now also Archbishop you to talk finish I think him rosary or one blood legally something he come lo Vatican. So tetel or display he look also only larim mipla online was that the brim this la picture na tok tok come lo yuvla call camera blo mipla stop are long en na kisim picture. Na I think him la look long all Danish online all Danish na mi talk legally picture blong culture blong mipla way blong mipla how mipla Danish na how mipla talk welcome long kind or big pla line come long country blomipla.
John, what we are really seeing, and I really hope and pray that this will be really our way forward to have that mutual collaboration and respect between the state as well as with the government, the state, and the churches, and our leaders. I think at all levels, the collaboration, the mutual respect to coexist and to support and complement one another. This whole experience is bringing this out, and the richness of the culture and the recognition of the talents and skills that people have for the benefit of everyone. And so these are some of the things, or maybe the outcome of what we are observing and witnessing that stands out clearly as a result and the fruit of this kind of collaboration and experience.
Yes, I think, Archbishop, I think legally something we can talk out also. I think time Holy Father come inside, online is sanabna, Holy Dennis na talk welcome. So no, he didn't go past them to the next. He just said, I want to see them dance a little bit. So they paused there for a while and turned his wheelchair around for him to stay, and then the girls performed there for him. It could have been scripted, planned, or it could have been just something that happened right there and then.
And John, what brings it out from that point of view too is the noticing the little details.
Absolutely.
You don't ignore.
And he's taking the lift, he's gone upstairs at the APEC House, where this will be the main meeting I'd like to think. Next to him is, of course, the Governor General of Papua New Guinea, the Grand Chief, Sabob Dade. I noticed that his wheelchair, and there's always someone standing right next to it, is being handled by Vatican staff themselves.
Most of the carers around him are his own, that came with him from the Vatican. The entourage was composed of the media, the journalists, and his own caretakers.
Yes, and they know exactly what to do, so they wouldn't allow anybody else to touch him wrong something and down. There was a little bit of that at the airport, and I think there was a little bit of a scare there that he might trip. But
it's always important. You know people who are close to you, and they know your ways of behaving. So these are the people you have to always have them around you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is our live telecast. We continue that of the visit by the Holy Father to Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea. We are now at APEC House at Ella Beach in Port Moresby, the capital city of the country, where the Holy Father is no doubt, and we are anticipating that, will say something to a gathering of leaders, political leaders of Papua New Guinea, as well as business leaders and other people gathered to hear from the Holy Father. And I think to begin that, I think there'll be a speech by the Governor General, the Grand Chief Sabob Dade, who will no doubt welcome the Holy Father into the country for and on behalf of the people of Papua New Guinea. He will give his speech, and no doubt his speech is being delivered to him. That will be followed by a response and a statement from the Holy Father.
For our viewers out there, there is an earpiece that the Holy Father is having on. That's for this, for the benefit of translation, because he basically strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the government and people of Papua New Guinea, I welcome His Holiness Pope Francis to this beautiful country. Your presence here is a testament to the enduring spirit of faith that brings us together across oceans and continents. And I am honored to receive you today. As you know, the first Catholic missionaries were the Marists. They arrived in 1845 and settled in the beautiful woodland and rocky islands. Some 139 years later, having fully established the seat of the Catholic faith, your predecessor, the Holy Father, Pope John Paul II, visited our country in 1984 and again in 1995. This year is the 179th year of the presence of the Catholic Church in Papua New Guinea, and you are here with us. As a country, we are very grateful. Your Holiness, the Catholic Church is among the key development partners of the government in services delivery in the country. Our government recognizes the strong contributions of the Church in supporting children communities, future church leaders across education, health, and spiritual care. We appreciate the global leadership in advocacy that the Vatican continues to provide on the global humanitarian issues like war, human rights, gender issues, climate change, health, and education. Your Holiness, life is a right to human beings. As
Can we hear something?
The Holy Father will respond to his message, and we need to know what it is.
we want to acknowledge the role of women, emphasize on the need for protection. A female is not just a mere gender, but a special gift from God to bear a nation. And like Mother Nature, she keeps and sustains humanity. Your Holiness, in a world of greed and turmoil, your voice will be better heard by the world over to love and respect the rights of women in a free world. We are happy to convey that the Catholic Church has been very active in advocating against violence and human rights abuse in the country. We also recognize the physical and the spiritual care that the Church continues to give to those that are being abused, neglected, or rejected. Life of any country, there are cases of violence too in Papua New Guinea. And in your presence, we want to remind our citizens to observe the moral values and ethical principles that defines us as Christians and recommit to love and peaceful existence in our society. Your Holiness, climate change is real. The rise in the sea level is affecting the lives of our people in the remote islands of Papua New Guinea and across the Pacific. We appreciate the work of the Catholic missionaries and those from the Christian faith who continue to serve those that are affected by climate change. The experience across the Pacific is that islands are sinking. People are affected and displaced. We seek your prayers and support for global action and advocacy on climate change. We want the world to know that there is no more time to discuss. What the world needs is commitment for action. Your Holiness, we also want to thank you for the work of the Church to take the health and education services to the remotest places in Papua New Guinea. Our inspiration is the educated life service of missionaries of Catholic Church across the length and breadth of this beautiful country. This is truly an embodiment of enduring love and compassion of God for humanity. Our government is intensifying efforts to strengthen the existing partnership through funding support, institutional alignment, and other state-church collaboration arrangements. As a government, we continue to fund churches-run institutions. We truly value this partnership and affirm support to the work of the Catholic Church and other Christian churches in the country. As you bless our land with your presence, we are filled with profound gratitude and humility, as can be seen through the magnitude of pilgrimage to the city, just to get a glimpse of your holiness. We know that your visit will leave an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of our citizens. We pray that the seeds of faith, hope, and love that you sow, they will bear fruit for generations to come. Please pray for Papua New Guinea, its democracy, its leadership, and pray for people to turn to God at a time when there is rise of atheism in the world. May you also pray for our fellow brothers and sisters in the Pacific. Some of their leaders are present here today with us. We thank you for choosing to visit Papua New Guinea and wish you the blessings of peace and comfort and hope that you will enjoy the warm, gracious hospitality of your church, the government, and people of Papua New Guinea. God bless you, and God bless Papua New Guinea. Thank you very much.
It is now my honor to invite His Holiness Pope Francis to give his address to the country.
Generale, signor Primo Ministro, distinti rappresentanti della società civile, signori ambasciatori, signore e signori. Sono lieto di essere oggi
I'm very pleased to be with you today and to visit Papua New Guinea. I thank the Governor General for his cordial words of welcome and all of you for your warm reception. I extend my greetings to the people of the country, wishing them peace and prosperity. And I also express my gratitude to the authorities for helping the Church in a spirit of mutual cooperation and for the benefit
Nella vostra patria un
In your
arcipelago con
homeland,
centinaia
an
di
archipelago
isole,
with
si
hundreds of
parlano
islands,
più
more than
di 800 lingue,
800 languages are spoken,
in corrispondenza ad
corresponding to
altrettanti
just
gruppi
as many
etnici.
ethnic groups.
Questo evidenzia
This points
una
to an extraordinary cultural
ricchezza
richness.
culturale e umana. E vi
I
confesso
must
che si
confess
tratta di un
that this
aspetto che mi
greatly
affascina.
fascinates
Mi
me,
affascina molto,
also
anche sul piano
on a spiritual
spirituale,
level,
perché immagino
because I
che
imagine
questa
that
enorme
this
varietà
enormous
sia
variety
una
is a
sfida
challenge
per lo
to
Spirito
the Holy
Santo.
Spirit, who creates harmony amid differences. Your country, besides consisting of islands and languages, is also rich in natural resources.
Questi beni
These
sono
goods are
destinati
destined
da
by
Dio
God for the
all'intera
entire
collettività,
community,
all'intera
even if outside
collettività. E anche se per
Even
loro
if outside
politicamente
experts
è
and large
necessario coinvolgere
international
più vaste
companies
competenze
must be
e
involved
grandi
in
imprese
the harnessing of
internazionali.
these resources.
È giusto
It is only
che nella
right that the needs of
distribuzione
local
dei
people
proventi
are
e
given
nell'impiego
due
della
consideration
manodopera si
when
tengano
distributing the
nel
proceeds
dovuto conto le
and employing
esigenze
workers
delle
in order
popolazioni
to improve
locali,
their living
in modo
conditions.
da produrre un effettivo miglioramento delle loro condizioni di vita. Questa ricchezza
These environmental and cultural treasures represent at the same time a great responsibility because they require everyone, civil authorities and all citizens, to promote initiatives that develop natural and human resources in a sustainable and equitable manner, a manner that provides the well-being of all, excluding nobody, through concrete programs, international cooperation, mutual respect, and agreements beneficial to all parties. A necessary condition for such lasting result is the stability of institutions, which is fostered by agreement on certain essential points amidst different concepts and sensibilities present in society. Indeed, increasing institutional stability and building consensus on fundamental choices is a prerequisite for integral and fair development. It also requires a long-term vision and a climate of cooperation among all, even if there is a distinction of roles and differences of opinion. It is my particular hope that tribal violence will come to an end, for it causes many victims, prevents people from living in peace and hinders development. I appeal, therefore, to everyone's sense of responsibility to stop the spiral of violence and instead resolutely embark on the path that leads to fruitful cooperation for the benefit of all the people of the country. Indeed, the aforementioned attitudes can create the conditions in which the question of the status of Bougainville Island can also find a definitive solution while avoiding the rekindling of ancient tensions. By bolstering agreement on the fundamental elements of civil society, together with the willingness of each person to sacrifice something from his or her point of view for the benefit of all, the necessary forces can be utilized to improve infrastructure, address the health and educational needs of the population, and increase opportunities for dignified work. Sometimes we forget that human beings need more than just the basic necessities of life. They also need great hope in their hearts. This allows them to live fully, gives them zest and courage to undertake wide-ranging projects, and enables them to lift their gaze upward towards vast horizons. An abundance of material goods is not enough to give birth to a life-giving, serene, hardworking, and joyful society, which without a broader spiritual outlook turns in on itself and leads to a dryness of heart. As a result, society loses its weight and forgets the correct hierarchy of values. Moreover, the dryness takes away society's drive to move forward, and as happens in some opulent societies, blocks its progress to the extent that it loses hope in the future and can no longer find reason to pass on life and faith to future generations. That is why it is necessary to direct the spirit towards greater realities. Our attitudes and action must be sustained by an inner strength which shelters them from the risk of being corrupted or of losing the ability to recognize the value of work and the need to carry it out with dedication and devotion. Spiritual values greatly influence the building of the earthly city and all temporal realities. In other words, these values infuse a soul and inspire and strengthen every project.
Lo ricordano anche il logo e il motto di questa mia visita in Papua Nuova Guinea. Il motto dice tutto con una sola parola: pray. Pregare. Forse qualcuno troppo osservante del politicamente corretto potrà stupirsi di questa scelta, ma in realtà si sbaglia, perché un popolo che prega ha un futuro, attingendo forza, speranza dall'alto. E anche l'emblema dell'uccello del paradiso nel logo del viaggio è simbolo di libertà, di quella libertà che niente e nessuno può soffocare perché è interiore ed è custodita da Dio che è amore e vuole che i suoi figli siano liberi. Per tutti coloro che si professano cristiani, la grande maggioranza del vostro popolo, auspico vivamente che la fede non si riduca mai all'osservanza di riti e precetti, ma che consista nell'amore, nell'amare Gesù Cristo e seguirlo, e che possa farsi cultura vissuta, ispirando le menti e le azioni, diventando un faro di luce che illumina la rotta. In questo modo la fede potrà aiutare anche la società nel suo insieme a crescere e a individuare buone e efficaci soluzioni alle sue grandi sfide. Illustri signore e signori, sono venuto qui per incoraggiare i fedeli cattolici a proseguire il loro cammino per confermarli nella professione della fede. Sono venuto a gioire con loro per i progressi che vanno facendo e a condividere le loro difficoltà. Sono qui, come direbbe San Paolo, quale collaboratore della vostra gioia. Mi congratulo con le comunità cristiane per le opere di carità che svolgono nel Paese e l'esorto a cercare sempre la collaborazione con le istituzioni.
Television being what it is. Television being what it is. Archbishop, we lost a bit of audio there, lost a bit of pictures there. That's outside broadcast television. So we apologize for that. But there it was, a speech from the Governor General and a reply or a speech from the Holy Father at APEC House. And he spoke in Italian, so there was a bit of translation, and what I heard was he did mention television being what it is. We do seem to have a few problems coming out of APEC House at Ella Beach. There we had the Governor General speaking earlier on, and then the Holy Father speaking there. Let's just have a quick look at what the Governor General said. He spoke about climate change, and I think that is the thrust of his visit here, of the Holy Father. So it was appropriate that Papua New Guinea, being part of the Pacific and climate change becoming an important issue, he did touch on that.
Yes, John, I think what the Governor General presented to the Holy Father are the issues that we are quite familiar with, the realities that we are living through. And as he mentioned, enough of talking, let us really do something, and a change of attitude, a change of policies and living styles has to really be the way to go forward.
And in the Holy Father's not so much response, but in his speech, and it was in Italian, but the quick translation we were able to get was he did touch on Bougainville, and I thought that was interesting, because as you know, Bougainvilleans are very strong Catholics, and if anything, we had our first Archbishop from Bougainville, Sir Peter Koronku. And because of the situation where we are right now with Bougainville and the referendum on Bougainville, and I thought that he did, although we could not hear clearly what he was saying,
it is, and interestingly, the provincial leader of Bougainville meeting the Holy Father yesterday for the welcome, they had a bit of chat, that you may realize there was a bit of chat. And I think personally they would have said, the Minister for Interior, Security and Police is saying something, whispering almost, using that opportunity, that is, that's the closest you can get to whisper to the Holy Father, this is our issues, and maybe asking for special blessings and prayers this time. And it just happened that, as you can ascertain from that, is that the Holy Father knows basically what are the key issues of concerns for the country politically, as much as for the economic situation that we are, but also with the climate and the environment. These are all issues that he is well aware of.
Encourage us all to remain seated. whilst that's happening. Thank you.
Okay, Archbishop. All right, there it was. The gathering of leaders, political leaders, civil leaders at APEC House. And now the Holy Father is being escorted to a number of chosen people to have a personal greetings with a number of people. And I think the Vatican media is making sure that all this is captured for their records. And there are a number of special people there. We can't really see, but I'd like to think that Lady Veronica is amongst them. And she, of course, is the wife of the Grand Chief, Sir Michael Samare. She might have flown all the way to Port Moresby to be part of that, and I think she just met with the Holy Father. And I think it is a very special moment for her as a strong Catholic, that she gets the opportunity close up to say hello to Pope Francis. What a memorable moment that is for Lady Veronica to meet with the Holy Father. And these personal exchanges with the special chosen people at APEC House is, of course, the media swamping them as well. The young kids who got dressed this morning for this special occasion. The Holy Father is now being, there's rows of special people at the front row, and then now he's going through the back row of these people where he meets them personally. I'd like to know what he's giving to them from his staff to the girls who are performing there, that little music group.
John, that will be Holy Rosary.
Rosaries, okay.
And yes, the theme of this papal visit is don't help us to pray or teach us to pray. So now he's offering them an aid to help them to pray, and that's basically what he's encouraging people to do.
And that's really nice. That's really nice.
And in his speech, you can hear he said pray 3 times. It's almost saying that the first thing you have to do is pray. Secondly, you have to pray. Thirdly, you have to pray.
Okay, okay. And yes, in Papua New Guinea, we do need to pray.
It was also very good to see a good number of our leaders, political leaders present, and also the business community and all our partners working together to helping promote the values and the concerns of Papua New Guineans.
It was a bipartisan meeting of leaders to hear the Holy Father speak, both from the opposition and government, ministers, and the opposition backbenchers. So that was quite encouraging of what might be ahead. And this is the last part of the morning engagement, where the Holy Father, after meeting with, after paying a courtesy call on the Governor General at Government House, he then moved to APEC House, where both leaders, the Governor General and the Holy Father, made speeches.
This will be the second part of another meeting with the Pacific, or maybe some of the leaders, because they were, according to what was proposed, there will be some opportunity for the others from the Pacific as well. And we just realized that he is now seated again for a kind of an audience. There is this could be the leadership from Tonga, the Kingdom of Tonga. So our Pacific leaders who cannot receive the Holy Father coming to their
own respective countries.
Yeah, so they came through, so they actually accommodated them so that they can have an audience with him, encounter him, and both the Governor General and the Holy Father together.
Here's the Prime Minister of Tonga, and we also have the Prime Minister of Vanuatu, Charlotte Salwai, and his wife, and the Prime Minister, or the President of Nauru, President David Adiang, and the Secretary General of the Pacific Island Forum is Baron Wakwa.
the Secretary General of the Pacific Islands Forum. Former President of Nauru.
Thank you so much. I'm so blessed. Thank you.
And as we said a little earlier on, the Nauru is a small country rich in phosphate, and the land area and the number of people there are the same as that of the Vatican State. So there's something in common between those two as they shake hands and exchange. And of course, most of those from Nauru are Catholics.
Told them to exchange the gift for moments.
Yeah, interesting moment. There was moments. He was once a Catholic priest.
That's right.
The Housing Minister for the Papua New Guinea government.
The Housing Minister of Papua New Guinea.
Honourable Francisca Samaso from the Autonomous Region of Bougainville.
Samaso does something special, a special present from the people of Bougainville and from her. I don't know if protocol expected that, but that's special.
In PNG, we always say the land of the unexpected.
And yes, Samaso is the unexpected
Dame
one.
Sandra Lau and her husband.
We want to see you many times.
That is Dame Sandra Lau with John, the Managing Director of Tropicana.
Kiss your ring.
A special moment in their lives.
Honourable Jelka Wong, Minister for Fisheries.
Minister Jelka Wong.
Sir Julius Chen, former Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea and Governor of New Ireland. With our Governor for the city, Honourable Paulus Pako.
And we might add here that Sir Julius Chen, the last man standing in the political history of Papua New Guinea, since before independence up till now, is the only one,
Member for Namatanai
living
and
leader
Minister for
who's
Civil
seen
Aviation.
the start of
Honourable
independence
Walker
to
Nobel.
today. All the other leaders that were part of the first cabinet of Papua New Guinea in 1973 have all died. The only one standing is Sir Julius Chen.
Secretary for Education, Higher Education, and a father of the Catholic Church.
Father Yang Chuba, the former president of
Minister
the Divine
for
Word
Police
University
and Governor for the
now
Autonomous
Secretary
Region
for
of Bougainville.
Higher Education.
Kathy
Yes,
Johnson.
the Holy
and
Father did touch on
Regional
Bougainville, and as we know, we have a Bougainville referendum, and I think Siama Lili is mindful of that, and the strong population of Catholics on the island. A private conversation, unscripted, a letter, a petition. Whatever it is, it's something that they planned on doing, and they seized this moment, a moment they'll probably never have.
I wonder which language they are using to communicate that long.
Well, see, the important thing is how accommodating the Holy Father is of that.
Mr. Arthur Samari.
That's a young Samari, a strong Catholic family.
His Honor, Justice Narakobi.
Virgil Narakobi,
A son of the late Bernard Narakobi, another important figure in the political history of this country.
Holy Father helped him to stand.
The High Commissioner of Australia here in Papua New Guinea, Honourable John Six.
The Australian High Commissioner, Papua New Guinea.
It's one diplomat meeting another diplomat, head of diplomat, I suppose. But this time it is the Pope.
Dame Monica Soka. Honourable Daddy Toka Jr., Deputy Governor of the City and Chairman of Moto Koitabu. Lady Winifred Cummins.
I notice in some of the recipients, in the excitement of meeting the Holy Father, they are forgetting to say hello to their own Governor General who's sitting next to it.
I suppose they have more opportunities to meet
to do
the
that,
governor.
and she's one of them.
Of the Solomon Islands for Papua New Guinea.
God bless you. Pray for me.
His Excellency the Moderator of the United Church.
Moderatore della Chiesa Unita.
And Archbishop, you may enlighten us the person, the clergy who is sitting next to the Holy Father, would be secretaries.
That will be like his
Relatives
personal aid, and
Correct.
they always get the title of Monsignor, a senior clergyman, and they are available to him, like now for translation, and also for guiding, introducing people to him. So they are handy when it comes to public audiences like this.
Okay.
And they would know at least some of the insights of what's taking place, just to be prepared and alert so that the Holy Father knows what's going on.
So he'd be in the rank of bishop, archbishop?
they normally get that particular title, which a Monsignor. And a Monsignor will be just the same as a special recognition of his aiding the Holy Father in this capacity. It could also be a bishop.
Yes.
And they work with him, but a secretary, personal secretary, they do this kind of closeness, and especially in liaising. It's more like you can always have a personal protocol officer that comes handy in this particular situations like this.
And they had just received, I think, a picture of a bird of paradise from our Foreign Affairs Minister, Yatsenyuk.
Your Holiness, Pope Francis, and our Governor General, thank you very much. That concludes our special welcoming to our important guests, selected guests from our country. Thank you very much, Your Holiness.
And that there concludes the little session, the exchange of gifts between the Holy Father and a selected number of leaders, individuals in Papua New Guinea. One of those included Sir Julius Chan, the Governor of New Ireland, the surviving member of the early cabinet of the independent state of Papua New Guinea, and there's also a member of the Samari family. And among them, Bougainvilleans. So I think the selection of people to exchange gifts were selected deliberately to represent the country on a broad scale. And the Holy Father now leaves APEC House at Ella Beach, accompanied by, of course, his own protocol, his own staff, and our Governor General, the Grand Chief Sir Bob Dade, and our Foreign Minister, the Honorable Yatsenyuk.
From the smile on his face, you can see that he enjoys this particular occasion, this morning, this encounter with the dignitaries, and how big. That's the Bishop of Webek.
Now I
never lose an opportunity to meet the Holy
But I
Father.
can't say that's part of the program. You see how he turned his own wheelchair to meet the bishop lined up along there, because otherwise he was going to be wheeled straight out to the door.
Yes.
But he said, no, Bami talk halo long or line blow me.
Yes.
And that's exactly what he's doing. So close to by finish belong this morning program belong time ego na talk halo long Governor General blow you mean to now talk halo na talk one time all leader long Bikla House long Ella Beach APEC House and finish long this now na talk goodbye long all one sambla long all bishop all come long all kata aplo country na this legally up staircase yeah ne mantab long APEC House by kisimem go down long ground floor long APEC House. samblo long online ya, all been stop tamblo, only where been tok one time all past them. Now all kata walk running along elevator thing long time signally toggle them, only father come down. Them outside long APEC House. You look him all kind man all same. All white man he walk look now look. I'm all part of the security personnel. Me plus have also maybe place them safe through long Holy Father long calm na look around talk on them online. That's all. Big plan to us, lo world. Na also na safety na security belong even though go along some place is safe through, all must still look out. Long when more important long walk long all long walk him this la. Look him also safety na round long Holy Father and by stop good, stop straight na go good na go finish long
Big plan morning straight long go look him Governor General belong you mean and now long bungi mo katalide stop na harim de selalu tok to play you make him more strong pla tok kami help him you me long focus because you must continue beyond long this weekend Papa Sant we come emi go back long place belong him so you me by look long all this pla all kata look sabe or talk out long and finish and one pla big pla long and yeah now bon will issue come up big pla tok na all services belong you me he go long all people belong you me education health all good pla belong all kata people belong you me so now good pla long look him to pla di da belong you me belong sios na belong country only sana one them na help him you me long so him wrote you me must walk about long in for this la integral human development he affect him you me kita
yes legally car automobile go inside lo car legally that's all name belong walk belong pace belong na big platro
now further to man belong travel long all public transport so long place belong long country belong long Argentina all kata man isabe isa kalap long train long bus he meeting all people all at the time so inon you pla long kisim kain no likli car long walking all walk long now long all big pla visits normal long long got this pla kain closeness come long all people
yes it ruin I got some online too only go APEC House or line lo Port Moresby all stable all street about bali wave lem na talk hello long one kind also all working long aste night long bali kisim sans long looking pass long time carry all drive this legally car blaming go pass long all na iga one bla talk two all same time his holiness time young bla man long country blame lo Argentina one bla walk past them long walk lo Burming place you know big bla mangi also mi bla talk all labor all swim street about been one bla lo this la time young bla long country blong now he come up now big bla straight look him online all like touch him all like go arilo straight that's all sans here that's all security too by tight legally rodisla now almost look him also online is tap arre long car blong me go that's all sample also me look him now that's all yeah all like go touch him straight okay Archbishop Rogus, big morning, belong Holy Father, and working big walk long, go talk hello, go meet one them Governor General you mean, and then go talk to one them all big line long LBT APEC House, where meet him all leader you mean, staff long government, staff long opposition, all public servants, senior servants, not two all leader blow Narbla country. Now some all big man long business law Papua New Guinea. All been staff businessman very long time. Contributors to the economy of the country, long time. All two even staff exchange of gifts. One blah legal ceremony special through long visit belong talk long legally.
Despla bung nawali mekim emi strong im despla figure belong Holy Father. On bla big bla look sabe or seman bla long all character belong em long bungim all people is supposed to be a sign of unity. So long this bla morning we can look him now this la unity walk mung one time belong government na church na all public sector all businessman Mary non-government organization this bla team walk mung one time collaboration cooperation partnership ima sabe come up through long walk belong em no can call him tasol because this pala talk long call him partnership em pala dangerous talk you use him you must show him you must make him em morsem na emi come
walk the talk so to speak
em tasol so figure belong em na me long yum kata em or kata money focus long em so that's what's supposed to be. Every one of us, he got work with him, long bungim all narapla, you know, brukim, you know, belong separate, you know, belong a lick line, or big pla line, or rich or poor, and way belong in long inclusivity, so periphery, and long including Molani stop long way through, he must have come close to, and come long center too. So that's what's the by we can call him also Mansala, prophetic witness belong him, long sense of unity to everyone, and supposed to be the figure that unites everyone. Now, I'm walk along all churches long this too. Long help him all warring tribes or all kind birua. You must lose him na passing long Christ. He must stop long bungim him kata. So that's the in the person of him. He makes that possible long. This walk about long morning.
I think it's a good summary, Archbishop, and that I think brings us to the conclusion of today's morning engagement of the Holy Father, of his time here in Papua New Guinea, of his visit here in Papua New Guinea. The meeting, the courtesy call on the Governor General at Government House in Port Moresby, and also the opportunity to meet with leaders at APEC House at Ella Beach. This then concludes the morning segment of our live coverage. We will return at about 4:30 this afternoon for the latter part of the day, for the latter part of his engagement, and that will include a visit to Caritas, meeting with the kids in Port Moresby, and also to Don Bosco. This is where the morning part was. If that was meeting with adults, leaders, big people, then this afternoon will be where he probably likes it most, meeting with the young people, the future of the country, how they will be molded as leaders, as people, to live their own lives, and as they embrace Christianity in their lives as well. So that's an important part. We'll come back to you on that at 4:30 this afternoon. Thank you for watching. See you soon.
Hello everyone, welcome to the MCG for a mouth-watering elimination final between two of the hottest teams in football. The